This is WTAP News at 6.
There is a hearing going on about the fate of Paden City High School. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Phyllis Smith. A hearing about the immediate future of Paden City High School is happening in Wetzel County right now. Earlier this summer, Wetzel County Superintendent Cassie Porter announced that Paden City High School would be closed due to health concerns. On July 16th, Wetzel County Circuit Court Judge Richard Wilson issued a temporary restraining order against that move. A preliminary hearing is happening right now at the Wetzel County Courthouse. The restraining order allowed the school to be reopened, all personnel reinstated, and extracurricular activities, including marching band and sports, be allowed to resume. The school does sit on an EPA Superfund site. The agency has declared that there is what's called no unacceptable risk to students. Many students and alumni of Paden City High School have publicly said they want the school to stay open. WTAP's Chase Campbell is in the courtroom, and we will have a full report when it wraps up. Turning to the weather, a mix of sun and rain today. Meteorologist Kirk Greenfield joins us now with the first look at your forecast. Kirk.
Things appear to have dried up considerably today. As we take a look at the view on the Highmark, West Virginia Skycam, we're at 84. It just feels like 85. The relative humidity is 49%, and the winds out of the northwest at 7. When we look at the pressure, it's 30.09 inches and falling. So when we take a look at the evening planner, we expect to be about 80 degrees at 8 o'clock. Still mostly sunny and on the warm side, but by the time we get to midnight, we'll have fallen all the way through the 70s and to 67. Partly cloudy and on the relatively cooler conditions. Well, that's the drier air coming out of the Great Lakes region. We'll talk more about that when I return in just a moment. Back to you.
Thank you, Kirk. The man charged with murder and the death of his girlfriend in Vienna is being held without bond. 31-year-old Hurl Collins appeared before Wood County Circuit Judge Jason Wharton this morning. Collins was arrested in connection with the death of 22-year-old Morgan Lee Stutler-Lott. Stutler-Lott was found at her apartment on 19th Street on Saturday afternoon with an apparent gunshot wound to her head. Wood County prosecutors asked for Collins to be held with no bond because of a flight risk. He is being held at the North Central Regional Jail. He is scheduled to be back in court for his preliminary hearing on July 31st. New tonight, the community is coming together to help a Pleasants County family one sub at a time. The Subway in St. Mary's is holding a fundraiser to help cover medical expenses for Pleasants County Sheriff's Deputy Jeremy Rhodes. Store manager Beth Ramey says the store's owner will donate at least 20% of today's proceeds to cover the costs.
It means a lot to me and all of my employees. You know, as soon as we heard about it, we kicked it in gear. He's a sheriff deputy here in Pleasants County. Super good guy. It's a great community. We all stick together and just anything we could do to help.
The store is open until 9 tonight if you are thinking about getting a sub. Artists that have worked on the mural on the flood wall at Point Park in downtown Parkersburg celebrated the end of Phase 4 with a ribbon cutting. Our Peyton Brooker has more on the 4-year project.
Over at Point Park, a project of painting murals on the flood wall celebrated the conclusion of Phase 4 of painting with a ribbon cutting. The project director, Edward Escandon, says the idea for the murals was because Point Park was missing that something.
As a former artist myself, just seeing this as a wonderful canvas for Parkersburg, and once seeing the city had done so much to develop Point Park, so much, you know, with the amphitheater and the landscaping, that the wall seemed to be one of the biggest things that kind of was taking away the, you know, from the ambience down here. So having a mural here seemed to me like a fantastic idea.
The lead artist for the project, Christopher Santer, says that he saw a division in these murals when he was approached for the task.
When Edward Escandon asked me about what was possible down here, and so I came up with a vision that would read from the river and from the bridge, kind of the train bridge and the mountains, but inset in there, when you come down here closer, a chance to see historical scenes of Parkersburg.
Some of the other artists that helped with the project are proud for their involvement in their work.
The historic photo sort of anchored what I was going to paint. However, it was grainy and in black and white, so I did a little bit of research, found some colorized versions of what's called the casino, which is the big structure, the big architectural structure in the painting.
I did a study over the winter to kind of get ready and kind of get the colors that I wanted to do. And then it took me 4 days because I came right in the middle of the mayflies and right in the middle of the heat wave. So I was working basically for 5 hours in the morning, and then I had to cut it off about noon. So it took me about 5 days to finish my piece.
With the end of Phase 4, there are plans to continue to produce more murals on the flood wall in Point Park.
You know, we have a lot of wall to work with, so we're going to bring in some other themes, you know, as time goes by. But right now, for this section here, what we wanted to do was just celebrate the history of Parkersburg and tell our story both naturalistically with rhododendrons, architecturally, and culturally with things like the Pinewood Derby race that they have there on, on Market Street.
But the original vision has a scroll of Almost Heaven, West Virginia, the staff of music that unfurls to the left of the mountains, and actually the staff becomes the mountains, and then the mountains become the bridge. So there's these real transitional sections that we want to do hopefully next summer.
This is Peyton Brooker in Parkersburg, WTAP News. This is home.
With social media and bullying, mental health in kids and teens has been a big concern. Our Logan Riggenbaugh is at the Boys and Girls Club of Parkersburg with more.
Highmark Health and the Boys and Girls Club of America recently signed a 4-year partnership to promote mental health in kids. Blue Cross and Blue Shield has partnered with the Boys and Girls Clubs in every region of the United States, and Highmark Health of West Virginia chose the clubhouse in Parkersburg. Each year, Highmark will give the club $10,000 to fund things like a Zen Den and noise-canceling headphones. Kathy McAllister, Executive Director of the Highmark West Virginia Charitable Fund for Health, believes kids should know that they do not have to hide their struggles.
You know, we want to make sure that the kids know that they're not alone, that they have people that they can talk to, that there's mentors, and that's what we're here today to do, is to mentor these kids and to work with them and let them know that there is an outlet and that it's a fun way to engage them, and that's what we're here today doing.
Highmark had a few employee volunteers helping out with the event. The kids painted positivity rocks and vision boards to show where they wanted to be when they grow up. Lynn Rhines, CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Parkersburg, believes that there is no shame in reaching out.
I mean, I just really think it's more common today for us to realize that kids do struggle with mental health. And one of the things that I would want people to know is if you are struggling, it's okay to let someone know and to get help.
Kids do not have to struggle alone. For more information, you can visit Highmark West Virginia's website. Reporting from Parkersburg, I'm Logan Riggenbaugh for WTAP. This is home.
Still ahead, Democrats are pushing to protect access to in vitro fertilization on World IVF Day.
Sunny skies may lead to a few showers yet tonight, but dry.